For more than 25 years, Tiger Woods controlled every chapter of his story. The victories, the records, the impossible comebacks, and the moments when the entire sports world stopped to watch him. But now, after everything Tiger has accomplished, a new question is beginning to dominate the golf world. A decision connected to his future has created uncertainty, and insiders are asking whether the next chapter of Tiger Woods' career will look completely different from everything that came before. Because this time, the challenge is not another tournament. It is not another injury recovery. It is not another battle against the world's best players. The challenge is deciding what happens when the greatest golfer of his generation moves beyond the role that made him famous. Tiger Woods was never just a golfer. He became a global phenomenon. When Tiger entered professional golf, he changed everything around him. Television audiences grew. Sponsorship opportunities exploded, and millions of people who had never followed golf suddenly became interested in the sport. He brought a level of attention and excitement that professional golf had never experienced before. But the most remarkable part of Tiger's career was not only the number of trophies he won, it was the way he transformed expectations. He showed the world that golf could be athletic, competitive, and globally influential. He inspired an entire generation of players who grew up believing they could follow the same path. That influence is why every decision involving Tiger still creates headlines. Because when someone changes a sport as dramatically as Tiger Woods did, their impact does not disappear when their playing days become uncertain. Every move they make becomes part of a much larger conversation about the future of golf itself. And that is exactly where Tiger finds himself today. For years, fans watched Tiger overcome challenges that seemed impossible, injuries that many believed would end his career, setbacks that made people question whether he could ever compete again, moments when the sport wondered if the greatest player of the modern era was finally finished. But Tiger kept returning. The 2019 Masters victory became one of the greatest comeback stories in sports history. After years of physical struggles and uncertainty, Tiger stood on the 18th green at Augusta National, wearing the green jacket once again. It was a moment that reminded everyone why his story was different. Tiger Woods was never defined by the obstacles in front of him. He was defined by how he responded. But now, the situation is different. The conversation around Tiger is no longer only about whether he can win another major championship. It is about how he wants to shape the future of the sport he changed forever. Because Tiger's role has evolved. He is no longer only a competitor. He has become a leader, a businessman, a voice involved in important decisions affecting professional golf. The same player who once dominated tournaments is now someone whose opinions influence conversations happening far beyond the golf course. And that brings a completely new type of pressure. When Tiger speaks about the future of golf, people listen. Players listen. Executives listen. Fans listen. His words carry the weight of someone who has experienced every side of the sport, from winning championships to watching golf transform through different eras. But professional golf is currently facing challenges unlike anything Tiger experienced during his prime. The arrival of LIV Golf changed the entire landscape. The relationship between players and organizations became more complicated. Questions about money, competition, and the future structure of the sport became impossible to ignore. Golf was no longer only focused on who would win the next tournament. It was focused on what kind of sport it wanted to become. And Tiger Woods became part of that conversation. Because the game he dominated is now entering an era where leadership decisions may matter as much as playing ability. The future of professional golf will depend on balancing different priorities. Tradition, growth, business, competition, fan engagement. Every side has a different vision for where the sport should go. Some believe golf must continue evolving to attract younger audiences and compete in a modern sports world. Others believe the sport must protect the traditions that made it unique for generations. Tiger understands both sides. He represents a history of golf because he created some of its greatest moments. But he also represents change because his career itself transformed how people viewed the sport. That is what makes his next decision so important. Because Tiger's future may not only affect Tiger, it may influence the direction of professional golf itself. The question is no longer whether Tiger Woods can still surprise the world. He has already done that countless times throughout his career. The The question now is whether his greatest contribution to golf will come from another unforgettable comeback on the course or from the decisions he makes away from it. Because every legend eventually faces the same challenge. What happens after the era of dominance ends? Some athletes disappear. Others find a new way to influence their sport. And for Tiger Woods, that choice could define the final chapter of one of the greatest careers in sports history. The world has already seen Tiger the champion. The world has already seen Tiger the comeback story. But now everyone is waiting to see Tiger the leader. And the decision ahead could change everything. The reaction from the golf world showed just how much influence Tiger Woods still has, even when the conversation is no longer only about winning tournaments. When a normal player makes a career decision, the discussion may last a few days before moving on. But Tiger has never been a normal player. Every decision connected to him becomes part of a much bigger conversation about the direction of professional golf and the legacy he will leave behind. Golf insiders understand that Tiger's future is about much more than whether he can compete at the highest level again. His impact on the sport has already been established. The real question is what role he will play in the next era of golf. Will he continue chasing moments on the course, or will his greatest influence come from shaping the game away from competition? That is a challenge facing every athlete who reaches the level Tiger Woods reached. At some point, the question changes. It is no longer about how many trophies they can win. It becomes about what they leave behind. Tiger has already created one of the greatest playing careers in sports history. 15 major championships, countless victories, records that define an era. But his second legacy may become just as important as his first, because the decisions he makes now could influence golf for generations. The sport he dominated is entering a completely different environment. Young players are changing the way competition looks. Technology is changing preparation. Fans are consuming content differently. Business decisions are becoming more important than ever. The traditional structure of professional golf is being challenged by new ideas and new expectations. And Tiger is watching all of it from a unique position. He understands the history of the game because he became part of that history. But he also understands change because his own career forced golf to evolve. The sport became more athletic, more global, and more competitive because Tiger raised a standard for everyone who followed him. That is why many people believe Tiger's next chapter could be his most important one. Because the greatest athletes are not only remembered for what they achieved, they are remembered for what they influenced. Michael Jordan changed basketball beyond his playing career. Tom Brady changed how people viewed longevity in football, and Tiger Woods changed how the world viewed professional golf. The question now is whether Tiger can create the same impact as a leader that he created as a player. Some fans believe this is the natural next step for him. They believe Tiger's knowledge, experience, and understanding of the game make him one of the most valuable voices in golf. They believe he can help guide the sport through uncertainty and protect the elements that made golf special. Others wonder what happens when a player who once controlled every moment of his career must now share influence with executives, organizations, and new generations of stars. Because leadership is different from competition. On the course, Tiger could control the outcome with preparation and execution. In leadership, the results depend on many different people making decisions together. That requires patience, compromise, and the ability to see the bigger picture. Those are challenges every legend faces when moving into a new role. But Tiger has already shown throughout his career that adaptation is one of his greatest strengths. He changed his swing multiple times to extend his career. He rebuilt himself after injuries. He returned when many believed his best days were behind him. That ability to evolve is what made his story so remarkable. And now, he may need that same ability once again. Because professional golf is searching for stability. The sport needs leaders who understand both tradition and the future. It needs people who respect the history of the game while finding ways to attract new generations of fans. It needs voices that can connect different sides during a period of uncertainty. And Tiger Woods may be one of the few people capable of understanding every side of that conversation. He has been the young superstar. He has been the veteran champion. He has been the injured athlete fighting to return. And now he is becoming the experienced figure trying to shape what comes next. That journey is what makes this moment so fascinating. Because Tiger's future is not simply about whether he plays more tournaments. It is about how his influence continues. A player can win championships and still eventually be replaced by the next generation. But an individual who changes the direction of a sport becomes part of its foundation. That is a position Tiger Woods finds himself in. His playing career created the first chapter. His decisions now will create the next one. And perhaps the biggest question surrounding Tiger is not whether he can return to his old form. The bigger question is whether golf is entering an era where Tiger's greatest victories will come away from the course. Because sometimes the final chapter of a legend is not about proving they can still compete. Sometimes it is about proving they can still inspire. Tiger Woods has spent his entire career answering impossible questions. Can he win again? Can he recover? Can he overcome another setback? And every time he found a way. Now the golf world is asking another question. Can Tiger Woods help shape the future of the sport he changed forever? Only time will provide that answer. But one thing is certain. Whether he is competing, leading, or mentoring the next generation, Tiger Woods will remain one of the most influential figures golf has ever seen. Because his story was never only about victories. It was about impact. It was about changing expectations. And it was about showing the world that impossible moments can sometimes create the greatest stories. So now the question goes to you. Do you believe Tiger Woods still has another legendary comeback waiting, or has his role in golf permanently changed from champion to leader? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy documentary-style golf stories exploring the biggest players, decisions, and moments shaping the future of the sport, subscribe for more deep breakdowns.